The most deadly weapon on the battlefield is not a gun, it's not a grenade, it's not a cannon, it's not a bomb. It's someone who knows how to talk correctly and a UHF radio. I don't know who said that. I don't know where it came from, the original quote, but it's true. And we'll talk about that more later. But hey guys, I am back. Today we're going to be looking at something that's actually really cool and I'm really excited about, because if you are familiar with the channel and you've been watching for a while, you know that I have had two distinct jobs in the military. Oh, here's a cat. Look at that. Hi, PETA. You want to participate? You know that I've had two distinct jobs in the military. I started my career in the Army. Well, I started my career wanting to be a cavalry scout. And immediately after that, they were like, well, great job, but you're going to be a combat medic now because we have a critical shortage of medics. I spent 8 years as a combat medic. Went over to the Air Force, where I spent the remaining 13 of my 21 years on the radio, directing aircraft in combat, telling pilots where they need to go, where they need to fly, what targets they need to engage, and doing tactical control. And that is talking on a radio. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So anything involving radios, communications, we don't do it a lot on this channel, but we do it sometimes. And I miss those days. And when I see something that is a little bit unique in the radio world, I get very, very excited. So today we're going to be looking at POCLink or POCLink, but I pronounce it POC, I think POC. And to me, POC in the military world is point of contact. That's what it always means. Every time you do anything in the military, your question is, okay, who's your POC for that? You're saying, who's your point of contact? Who do you talk to? Who do you reach out directly to make something happen? So I think it's a cool name for this. And what this is, it looks like a regular walkie-talkie, right? It looks like a little, FRS kind of standard little family radio. But this is actually a cellular walkie-talkie device. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you up front, these things are not cheap. They're not the price of a standard little radio. But what you get for that, you get nearly unlimited range, uninterrupted comms, and a cool, functional little radio package that you can carry around with you and use virtually anywhere on the globe. And we'll talk about that as we go. Also, in all transparency and fairness, this company reached out to me. They asked if I wanted to look at these and show them to you on the channel. We had a little back and forth, little go-between. Kind of, I wanted to make sure I knew what I was looking at before we put them out here. And after reviewing their website and talking to the POC, the point of contact there, I said, okay, yeah, this looks good. Rather than doing the usual straight unboxing where I'm opening up, looking at like with you guys at the same time, I've actually opened these. I've tested them out. I've used them. They're good. They're very, very good. So let's get going. So I have one here in the open. I have one here. I'm going to show it to you exactly as it comes out of the box. I can show you the labels and everything, and we'll talk about how they work. Some quick things up front. So yes, it is a small handheld radio. It is cellular. It will work on any network. It doesn't. You don't have to choose. Because it's cellular, it does need service. But when you buy your radios and you buy them you get a set of 2. You can get a set of 4. You get a set of 6. You can get a set of 8. If you buy your initial set of 2, you can always add more later. It comes with 1 year free service, and then after that, $50 a year. So there's no monthly fee, there's nothing. We're talking literally global service. Now there is an enhanced global service plan that you can sign up for. And that's more, but anywhere, almost anywhere on the globe, $50 a year. These radios keep you in contact, and you can talk to a group. So it's not just an open freak. You can designate a group that communicates because SIM chips are involved, so individual radio identifications. Or you can go direct point-to-point with somebody that is within your group that you program in. So, and secure point-to-point communications. Not secure encrypted, not like military encrypted, like, where you actually have cryptographic segments that are inputted on both ends, but secure in terms of when you're talking to somebody, no one else receives that. So very cool. So let's take a look at what you get inside the box when you open this up. So inside, you're going to get a little user's manual. Now, they have some other information available online that is a little bit more detailed. This is like a quick start. We'll look at it. You get a battery, which also is covered in plastic. I just kind of not sure where it is to put it back in. But you get a battery. This battery will give you 10 hours of, the usual standby and occasional talk time, as you go. They sell extra batteries if you want extra batteries. You get the radio itself, which is right here. SIM card. I have actually not even looked at the SIM card tray. So SIM card comes installed. Looks like you can put another one in if you want to. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure why you would, but I guess you can. Very lightweight. You get a charging cable, USB-C, and adapter. You get a clip, and you get a lanyard. You'll get, like I said, 2 of these. So we got 2 boxes, completely sealed for the 2 radios. They come charged. They come ready to use, because I tested that out first. So you could just pop the radio in and start talking if you want. I didn't put this clip on this one, so I could do it right here as we're doing the video. Lanyard, I'm not a big fan of. If you wanted to use it, the lanyard instead of the clip, you could affix the lanyard, right there on the top. I prefer clips myself, but it is what it is. Using these things is incredibly simple. So you'll turn it on, you'll hold down the power button, it will spool up. It makes these little 8-bit video game sounds that I love, and it's very quick. So I'm just showing you in real time how long it takes from turning on. It's looking for service. It's going to get service. These things they run on 4G, and it's on. And so each one has an individual identifier, and then it has a group that it's programmed for. And then, of course, because it's on the network, yes, the screen is scratched. We did that using these, and we were not gentle with them. They are rugged. They hold up. That little scratch is entirely on me. It shows up really bad on camera. You can't really see it that much in real life. Go back. So you get your power display, you get your signal strength, and again, it'll bounce off any cell tower that's around you, so you don't have to worry about it. And your date, and you've got a host of options in the menu. So, we can go through that in depth in a later video maybe. But you can set your local time. You can choose to go directly. So there's only 2 members involved here, because we only have 2 radios. But you can choose a direct member, or you can, choose to go through a whole group. It's a push to talk, just like any other radio, any other walkie-talkie. So these are, even though they're cellular, they work on the walkie-talkie concept. So they are what we call simplex, not duplex. Duplex would mean you can have a 2-way conversation at the same time. Both of you talk, like when you're on the phone, you can talk over each other. These, since they work on the transmit, stop, receive simplex principle, one person will hold the button, talk, and you'll have to let go so the other person can then talk and you can receive. It actually has a signal, a beep, that lets you know if someone else is holding sorry, I'm getting into the military speak. If someone is already talking on the frequency when you press the button. So you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll turn it on and let you hear that. So right away, even if you don't hear, like maybe somebody is what we call hot mic'd when they accidentally have the button pressed down. You will hear that somebody is already kind of broadcasting, so you can't transmit. You can also turn these button alerts on and off. You have a host, like I said, a host of features that go on and off in the menu. The thing is, these things are remarkably clear when you talk on them, because you're not talking about direct RF signal from radio to radio. It works on the cellular system, which is great. It also means you don't have to have line of sight. So normally line of sight means one antenna needs to be able to broadcast directly to the other antenna. Now, there could be some light obstructions in there. Plenty of people have used walkie-talkies in the woods, right? So there are some trees or something like that, but line of sight means that this antenna can sort of see that antenna. It has a pathway to it. With cellular service, you don't need that direct line of sight because it's going up to a cell tower, which then bounces. If it needs to go from cell tower to cell tower to cell tower, it does that until it can transmit down to this other receiver. Cell phones, at their core, are really just UHF radios. They transmit on a UHF frequency up to the cell tower and back down. And if you're curious which specific frequencies they operate on, you can look that up, but these are license proof. You don't need any certification, any license through the FCC or anything to use these. You just push to talk and you're good to go. You can use external headphones and mic. This will also connect to Bluetooth, which is really awesome as well. So I have some Bose wireless wireless Bluetooth earbud things that I use really for listening to music, but I can also use them on the phone and everything, so they have a microphone. They will connect. You can use them. If you have one of those wireless, if you have for a radio, wireless headset, the little tiny one that just fits in your ear and has a microphone that comes down, that'll plug in here and it'll work. You can use the push to talk on the radio or push to talk on the headset. They sell specific ones on their website, and the pricing is actually pretty decent. I looked at it. They have little stealthy ones that kind of look like Secret Service, in your ear, and you press your ear to talk, things like that. They also sell their own Bluetooth ones. So if you don't have one and you want to use it, you can. But the truth is, these are very, very simple to use. There is that momentary second delay because remember, we're transmitting up cell phone and back down. That delay does not increase over distance. I mean, that's literally the only delay there is. Like I said, the signal quality is very clear on these. It's as good as a cell phone conversation. We have not encountered any kind of interference or whatever. And let me show you this. That's that signal. Sorry, I just realized I'm doing an echoey thing, but listen, so I'm going to hold down the transmit button and then I'll press this one. That extra bulb, that lets you know you're pressing the button while somebody's already transmitting, even if you can't hear them talking for whatever reason. So you know that you're not going to transmit over somebody. You've got volume controls built right in. You've got 7 volume levels. I thought it was 5. You can control from here. If you have the headset that has volume control, you can do that there too. These things get very loud. So even if it's like clipped onto your gear somewhere and you're just walking around wherever, you're going to hear this. It's not subtle when you have the volume turned all the way up. In fact, we kind of kept it at volume 3 and it was still very nice and loud. There's no way that you're accidentally going to turn this thing off either, because you hit the power button, it just turns your screen on and off. And even if you hold the power button down, let's say it gets jammed on, and this is how you turn it off, you've got to actually really mean it. Hold the power button down. Nothing happens. Turn your screen on, hold the power button down, and then it gives you the option to power off. So you're never going to accidentally turn this on. And I've had that happen with like little cheaper, walkie-talkie radios where the power, you've got a button you hold to turn it off or what, and it accidentally has gotten turned off. There's no way to accidentally turn this thing off when you don't mean to, as you're, maybe it's on your belt or something, you're walking around, something else hits it, it's pretty secure so that you never actually lose your communication with somebody. Yes, it can actually accidentally turn on, but I think that's better than you lose your communication with somebody by accident. You know, and you're just like, all of a sudden you realize my radio's been completely quiet for an hour. It also has, you know, your little power indicator. It flashes every so often just to let you know what's on. I told you the battery life is very good. We have not charged these things since we got them, and we've used them a good monitor amount. I mean, we've used them, and so we still have 2 bars on this one, and this is the one that I first opened up and I kind of played with the features on, messed with the menu on. We've got 3 bars on this one. To test them out, we've used them to one person sitting in the house. We've taken them at least, I want to say, 5 or 6 miles away to this point. Used it inside a Walmart while we're walking around and somebody's in the house. Used it outside walking around at a park while somebody's in the house. We've used it walking from here to a store that's about a mile away, just to walk, and just doing radio checks the whole way. You know, walking around various things, whatever. There has been no break-in signal, no break-in service whatsoever. So I've been really happy with this. But you know what? That's all well and good. What does this actually sound like while you're using it? Might be something that you're wondering. I don't know. Are you wondering?
So like I said, sound quality is very good, very clear, no static, no interference. There's no extra reverb on the speaker. You've got nothing wrong with the receiver. It doesn't kind of give you any distortions or artifact in the sound. You have the transmit sound that comes on every time somebody talks. You can turn that off if you want, but it's a good, useful tone, I think, that lets you know somebody's about to talk to you. It also lets you know when the transmission is over. You know, if somebody doesn't know proper radio procedures, which is another video we're going to do in the coming days, because it's been something that people have asked for. What does it really sound like in the military when we're talking on the radio? And it can sound like different things depending on what you're doing. I've already said this, I know, but I'll say it again, because these things are cellular and not direct UHF line of sight. I am talking to you right now from away, inside another room, closed door, receiving inside the room where I do videos, closed door. Sure, lots of walkie-talkies would be able to do this, but I could be doing this just fine. You can actually pull off the old universal military double click just to say, I acknowledge, I receive, affirmative, without having to talk a whole radio transmission.
So who would these really be useful for? That's really for you guys to decide. What's a situation where these would be a real advantageous price to value ratio over something like a very simple walkie-talkie radio? I think definitely if you're going to be traveling around, I mean, a good walkie-talkie can probably, in a non-interference zone, there's not other radio transmissions, there's not a lot to block the signal. Yeah, you can get a couple miles out of that, sure. If you've got a bigger, listen, radio transmission and communication depends on probably 3 major things. Your power source, how much power you can put behind your transmission, your antenna size plays a big role in it, and your environment that you're transmitting and receiving in. Because these don't work on the standard radio propagation, I can't think of the word I'm trying to use, baselines, I'll say, I guess. You're looking at a much wider ability to use. So I'm going to be very honest. If you're just out recreation-wise and you're gonna keep track of like family members inside a park, you probably don't need something with this level of technology. Flat out. If you're going to be, different family members doing different things, and your range is going to be ever increasing, great way to keep in touch without having to pick up a phone, dial a phone, and go through the repeated acts. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but the repeated acts of having to make phone calls back and forth, you have these on and they're always ready to transmit. By the way, then you also have your phone available to do other kinds of things. If you are involved in activities that are, I don't know, say construction type, you might be going from work site to work site. You never know what kind of impediments to transmission there might be. Or doing more adventurous outdoor stuff, again, where your standard walkie-talkie stuff might let you down a little bit. These are great. What's really awesome about these, I think, is that if you have this just applies to my case. Theoretically this would work if I was still active duty, if I was still in the military and I had to go TDY to another state. I could turn this on and I could maintain communication with the boys. We could say, hey, our radio window is between this hour and this hour. And we could just talk back and forth on these things, because as long as we could hit cell towers, we could work. Theoretically speaking, I couldn't map out the whole global coverage on their website that will show you where all the coverage is. I could take these with me to another country when I had to go TDY to another place. And we could say, hey, here's when we're going to talk. And you could just communicate, because they're global capable. Even on the basic plan, the free plan for a year, and then $50 a year after that. So if you do a lot of traveling and you want to keep in touch with family, if you are traveling, out of the country and you're doing one of these family trips or a business trip or whatever, and you want to make sure you can stay in touch with the people you're with, these are awesome. So there's a lot of cool reasons and places and times where a system like this would be great, above and beyond your standard, FRS type radio, walkie-talkie, even something a little bit more complicated, because there are licensing issues with some radios, and I'm not going to go into that. You don't need any training. You don't need to pass a test. You don't need to give money to the government to use these. You don't need to, have a specific call sign or anything like that. So I just thought that these were really cool, and we're going to see them more and more on the channel, because they always work. They're always going to be ready to go. I actually do have an affiliate link in the video description, because they provided me with one. So if you are looking to spend the money on these things, you can use that link in the video description. It helps out the channel. It does. But you can use that affiliate link if you're looking to pick up a set, or 4 or 6 or 8, depending on your personal needs. I think that these are just really, really cool. And we are going to be using them quite a bit. And so, like I said, that comes with a year free service. No problem. $50 a year in January, make that payment, and then not have to think about constant reliable communications for the rest of that year. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do another video where we go a little bit more in depth with some of the features in here, how it works, how you navigate through the menu and the options that it has. We're going to be taking them outside to do really, an actual split screen. The boys will have one, I'll have one. So you'll actually see, like how far away we are from each other and how well they work. When I do the military communications video, because people have been asking that, like, hey, what do you really say on the radio? What does it sound like? Is it like the movies? Is it different? We're going to cover that. And we'll be using these, because I know that I can talk back and forth, give the boys a little script to read, as I do my thing on the radio. And we don't have to worry about any of those little blunders like, oh, they didn't hear me, or, oh, wait, what's that? Say that again, it'll be nice and clear. So we'll be seeing these again. And these definitely, when we do our summertime trip to Virginia and everything, what a great way to keep in touch in the cars on the way down. And then as we split up to do different things, maybe some of us go to the beach, maybe some of us go to just, you know, out to there's a lighthouse we like to climb out there, go see the ponies. They have ponies that like prance around, wild pony. But, you know, great way to keep in touch. So anyway, check out POCLink. They make some really cool stuff. It's an American company. They're based in Seattle. These are not made in Seattle, but it's an American company. And they're just getting started, but I think they're going to put out some newer products as time goes on. So anyway, I'm curious to see what you guys think. What do you think of the idea of, sorry, I hit a button, of cellular radios versus just straight up UHF walkie-talkies? Anybody out there really see a use for these? Do you see yourself using something like this over just a regular walkie-talkie? Do you see the value? Would you like want to use them if you had them, or, you know, what do you think? So anyway, thanks for spending some more time with me, guys. I hope you're excited talking about some communications, because I know I am. I'll be teaching you all how to direct a fighter on an intercept or call in an airstrike real soon. In the meantime, remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll be back again real soon.